They were trying to figure out if we were in New Mexico or Arizona.
I see, we're in New Mexico. Oh, wrong one.
Did you find the map?
I accidentally turned it off.
Well, let me turn it back on. You should be able to find the map.
There we go. It's booting up now. A lot of options on this.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to learn it.
Image, photos, coordinates. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. Done. Okay, I got the map.
Okay.
What happened was we're here at the Solo trailer, and we're kicking back and taking it easy around the campfire. And I just got to telling a couple of campfire stories, and I went to check the camera to see if it was still going, and it said that it had a SD card problem, and that's the second time that camera's had that here today. And so I had to change cameras. This is a camera that looks like it's doing okay. I can see everything. I can see you and me. So anyway, we were talking about how things sometimes don't make it to the camera. And today we were going down the road, and neither one of us had our cameras in our hands, so we didn't have the dash cam going, and all of a sudden we almost had a huge hawk as a hood ornament. He was standing in the road, and he was able to lift off the ground and fly out of the way just in time. But his wingspan had to be huge. I mean, that was a big hawk. So we didn't get that on camera, but it would have been impressive if we could have. And that's part of the problems, because with the equipment we work with is only good for short periods. You can't keep a camera on all the time. Batteries don't last that long. You know, and sometimes things go hours and hours and hours of nothing. How long were we out there today?
I don't know, it was a number of hours.
8 or 9 hours? And pretty much not much happened except for maybe a few minutes out of the day, you know. Maybe 10 minutes out of the day. So you can spend an awful long time beating the bushes before you find anything worthwhile. And then there are those that believe that if it's not on film or on video, then it didn't happen. And I kind of attribute that to movies and television. Because movies and television are all perfectly framed, perfectly lighted, dramatic effect, music, you know, and I really think that a lot of people have become very, very spoiled. They expect the real world to look like a movie. And it, you know, got news for you, it don't. So, you know, that's kind of too bad. I got a Bigfoot story to tell, and maybe perhaps people have heard this one and maybe they haven't. I don't know if I've included it in my writings or not, but it happened when I was a youngster, about 8 years old. We used to deer hunt as a family unit. All my aunts and uncles and cousins and everything would all go deer hunting because there was no drawing. All you had to do is buy the license and buy the tag. And so we would go up to a place called Bigelow Springs, which is named after my grandfather, Bigelow. And we'd basically put the trailers and the tents in a circle around the main campfire, kind of like the pioneers did, you know, for protection against the elements and the marauders and stuff like that. And so basically the little kids were supposed to stay within the circle, not go outside the circle of trailers or tents. And I remember that what happened was we heard during the daytime all the men went out to go deer hunting. They were all gone. The women were around the campfires telling stories. Now, some of the women did like to deer hunt, and some did. But, you know, that was their choice. But most of them liked to sit around the campfire and enjoy the time. But they were all sitting around doing different things in the circle with all the kids playing and so forth. And I remember that there was a large, I mean, he was really large human being coming down off the hill. We'd heard a couple of gunshots a little bit earlier, and we had thought that maybe it was one of our uncles or something had bagged a deer. But anyway, this thing come down off the hill, and it was in a real hurry, and it ran right through the circle of tents and trailers. And on the opposite side there were two trailers that were kind of like butt to butt, and they were too close for him to actually squeeze through. So when he got there, he just took his arms and pulled them apart and went on through, almost in a fluid motion. And there were people in each of those trailers. I can remember my Aunt Wanda, she grabbed her rifle and she says, "You," pointing at me, "you're going with me." What? She says, "Yeah, your dad taught you how to track. You're going with me." Well, my dad was the son of a fur trapper, so my dad also fur trapped quite a bit in his early days too. But we started out after it, and of course we were never able to catch up with it. We followed its tracks or its footprints for quite some distance, probably about a half a mile, and then we lost it. But it was moving, and what we think happened is those gunshots were actually another hunter that took a shot at it, and it was just trying to leave the area as quickly as possible, trying to get out of the area where all these human beings were, you know. So in my mind, I didn't realize what it was. I mean, I grew up listening to the stories and so forth of the wild man and the hairy man and stuff like that. But I always thought that those were stories to keep the kids scared to stay inside the circle, not venture outside of camp. That's what I always thought they were, you know. And so it was. I still didn't believe it. I justified it in my mind as being, you know, some kind of permit or something like that just ran through our area, and so I still didn't believe it until about 2008, when I had another experience that convinced me that Bigfoot exists. But so that's one story. I'm gonna stop